I've been watching you, I've been watching you lately. Who you been talking to lately? I've been spoken to. It's crazy. You know who I'm talking to. Talking to.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Cardinal Red, and we back for some more of that Ali Land Daily Boxing Talk, people. And today we talking why Crawford and Spence need a Pacquiao fight, plus the business of boxing. Alright, y'all, so let's break down why Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford need a Manny Pacquiao fight, and what are the reasons why they need a Manny Pacquiao fight. And just check out the background footage, man. This is my latest fishing trip in Louisville, Kentucky, Tom Wallace Park. Not Tom Wallace, but Waverly Park Lake. Alright, y'all, so what are the reasons that Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford need a Manny Pacquiao fight? And I would start out with, if there's one thing both of these guys are lacking that Manny Pacquiao has in droves, would be the wow factor. Manny Pacquiao, being a smaller guy fighting bigger guys, has always had the wow factor. Every time you see him take on an opponent that is bigger, stronger, faster, or that you believe he shouldn't beat, and he just completely takes them apart. That's the wow factor that Manny Pacquiao brings along. And when you watch Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, there is none of that. And it's not because they're not good fighters. It's because they're not fighting guys that you believe can possibly beat Spence or Crawford. They're fighting guys they're better than, or they're fighting guys right below their level. So they're lacking a wow factor. It's not that they're not fighting guys or fighting good fighters. It's that they're not fighting fighters that are better than them or that are equally on their level. So I would say both fighters are lacking the wow factor, and that's the first reason I'm gonna give for why these guys need a Pacquiao fight. They need a Pacquiao fight to deliver that wow factor. If they can get a Pacquiao fight, either one of them, and beat them, that's gonna have the fans going, wow, these guys are the best welterweights out there. And until they can do that, they just lack both. I think both fighters lack a wow factor. The next thing I would say why both guys need a Pacquiao fight would be sellability. The ability to sell a fight. Neither one of these guys have the ability to sell a fight, and it's because they lack that wow factor. When Manny Pacquiao came along, my first experience with Manny Pacquiao was on free TV. It was either on USA Fights or it was on Friday Night Fights when it used to come on ESPN. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but that was the first time I saw Manny Pacquiao, and he just completely picked the guy apart, and it made me go, wow, I gotta see more of this guy. And it made me a believer and it made me want to even purchase a Manny Pacquiao fight. So he instantly came into the game with a sellability because he had the wow factor. He could sell me a fight because I felt like this guy was something spectacular, and something I've never seen before. I don't feel that way about Errol Spence or Terence Crawford. Once again, not saying that they're not good fighters. They just lack that wow factor and that sellability. They lack the because of the type of fighters that they're both fighting, and especially Terence Crawford. And I hate to be hard on Errol, because at least Errol Spence has all these great welterweights under that PBC banner that are decent welterweights. They might not be on the same level as Errol Spence or Pacquiao or Crawford, but they're decent welterweights, and he has a lot of them that he could fight. Terence Crawford is just stuck on an island at Top Rank because he has nobody that is on his level at Top Rank Boxing that he could take on. There's nobody left over there. So there's no reason for me to ever want to buy one of his fights. He can't sell me one of his fights because I know he can beat everybody that they're going to match him up against. This Kell Brook fight was the closest thing he's had to competitions since I started hearing about Terence Crawford's name. I just don't feel like there's anybody at Top Rank Boxing he could face off with that you could actually be like, well, I'll buy that fight. There's nobody there that he could sell a fight to me versus, unfortunately. And then the last factor I would say why Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford need a Manny Pacquiao fight is the passing of the torch. And I say that because for either one of these guys to take on Pacquiao and to beat him, of course, and everybody in boxing's eyes would be saying, this is the passing of the torch. Of course, we knew that they would take down Pacquiao, the old legend. It would build both of their names off of the legacy that Manny Pacquiao has by taking them down. Is it fair? I don't think it's fair for both of them to be wanting to fight. I think he shouldn't have to fight both of these guys at all. He should have to fight at least one, and the other two should have to unify their titles. Someone sent me a message on down in the message section, and it was a pretty long message. I was gonna read it, but I'll save it for the next video. But he was basically saying that it's not on Crawford to do all these things that people are saying he has to do. It's on Pacquiao to just pass the torch on, basically. But it's not that simple. These guys have to beat Manny Pacquiao. They have to get in the ring and show and prove that they are the best guys out there. And the only way they can do that is one of these guys is going to have to face Pacquiao. They're going to have to come to the realization they either have to fight each other, then fight Pacquiao, or one is going to get the opportunity to have the torch passed to them by taking on Pacquiao. And it's looking more and more like it's going to be Errol Spence Jr. Rather than Terence Crawford, because of the fact Bob Ehrman is standing in the way. Crawford seems to have a very big ego when it comes to the amount of money he's demanding, and I just feel like Pacquiao's not going to be willing to have himself set up by Top Rank Boxing and Bob Ehrman and Terence Crawford to lose. I think he would, if he would go down, I think he would rather go down on his own terms, and that's using Pacquiao Promotions and PBC Boxing as a co-promoter to promote a potential Errol Spence fight. I think that's the way it's leaning. I think that's the way he should go, win or lose, and I think he wins that fight in my eyes. And if he did win, if he took on Spence and won, why not go fight Crawford? You might as well win or lose. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments section. Does Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford need a Manny Pacquiao fight as a passing of the torch to give them both the wow factor? Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Hit that like button for me. Tell a friend. Tell your homie. Tell your dog about Ali Land Boxing Talk, people. We're trying to spread the platform as big as we can get it. And without your help, I can't get there, man. As always, believe in yourself, follow your dreams, man, and your dreams will come true. It's your boy Cardinal Red, and we out of here.